Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hanging Out with Howie. And I have two illustrious guests with me this evening. One of my road dogs, favorite people, and very good friend, Mr. John Cawley from Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome, John.
Wherever he is.
Good to see you, buddy.
And my good friend and partner in many crimes that shall remain unnamed from beautiful Temecula, California, Mr. J. Brannan.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you? I'm excited to play the game. I've been studying.
There you go.
Count me in. I've always wanted to be on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, well, there you go. Then tell him what he's won. All right. So, hey, we just did the virtual training tonight, and it was the title was Building the Perfect Event for Mobile DJs. Now, John, you saw the show, right?
I did, yes.
Or parts of it? What were your
I saw the whole
takeaways?
thing. Some very interesting discussions. I guess we can start with the Game Master since he rolled up first.
Mm-hmm. He was. I thought he did good.
Scott Faber, good guy.
Scott Faber,
I actually took something from the Game Master. I liked his idea of doing the anniversary dance in reverse, where you're adding people to the floor instead of taking them away. Because then the oldest couple is the last man standing. I'm like, why have we not been doing that? It's just great.
How did he do it?
If you've been married for an hour to a day, please join the dance floor. So that's, of course.
So he goes backwards through the whole thing.
He goes backwards. Yeah. Then he goes, from an hour to 5 years, please join the couple on the dance floor. So finally, when he gets to the higher numbers, the last couple up, he gets the big round of applause for the longest time married and longevity.
Interesting.
Isn't that good?
That's
good.
Interesting.
I'll give you my take when you're done.
Well, go ahead and do it now.
Just real quick, for anyone watching this, I do it this traditional, bring everyone out, and I tell the bride and groom, are you going to be doing the bouquet toss? And out here, at least, a lot of weddings aren't doing garter bouquet because they don't have enough single people or whatever. And I say, well, if you're not doing the bouquet, but you want to do the anniversary, it'd be a great idea to give the bouquet as a gift to the couple married the longest. Brides, one, love that. Two, I always say, do you know who it would be? Oh, it's going to be my grandparents. Okay, this is what I want you to do. Because the final call is like 3-4 weeks out from the wedding. I want you to talk to your grandparents at some point and mention the wedding and say, oh, all the planning. We've got this DJ and he's calling us all the time about music. We still can't decide on like even our first dance. What was your first dance? And if they give you a song, give it to me. But don't say another word about it. And then for the anniversary dance, I play that song. So at the end of when I've got just that couple left, I get on the mic and I go, how long have you folks been married? 51 years. Oh, no way. And the bride will be like, it's my grandparents. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the bride's grandparents. Congratulations. By the way, do you remember what your first dance was? And they'll go, this song. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. Oh my God. Can you imagine the fate that your granddaughter's wedding? This was, and people literally start like bawling.
So here we thought this isn't really Jay. This is really the John Wick. Then he is an actor. He just plays Jay Brannan in real life.
At weddings and bar mitzvahs now.
Yes.
Certified bar mitzvah DJ. Because when you think good bar mitzvah DJ.
Yeah. I think one of the common threads going through that is something that is at least I found more difficult lately is that they're talking about interacting and questioning the couples and finding out about why and this and that. And, because of these unprecedented times, most of my stuff is done, through text. So, it's a little bit more challenging. You don't get that inflection or that enthusiasm to the why. It just sounds more confrontational. So I find it difficult. But they all made really, really good points as far as getting to know the couple, and then. But what if you get an agency gig? And all they do is give you the information for songs, and you have no contact with the couple.
I think Bill said it best because he says he could get thrown into a room cold and still pull it off better than most.
Right.
Three of us collectively, we're that DJ. That even with the littlest bit of information, we can still float through it and make it pretty special. But if you can find out things of the backstory, how they met, where they met, and ask the question why. Why is a big jar of taco sauce on every table? That great story that you told, that there were generations involved and they took weeks to prepare it, and it's a big deal. And if you're in on the joke, then it's a better day and a better event that you're in touch with the client and you know a little more about them than just reading their names off a sheet.
And there's times when you just have to make stuff up, like Jay had mentioned. The one wedding I did, the lady's bustle had broke, and she was a bit on the heavy side, I guess, polite way to say it. And she was in tears, and she was in the ladies' room, and they were trying to repair this ribbon and so forth. And she was there for 45 minutes. So I had to cover for that and not mention her at all. I made some funny, references and made up some stories, and hey, and now we're going to do a little bit of dancing here. If I could get you to blah, 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 and then we just had a dance floor going for a while. And then I'd go and I would check, with the groom, and, you just give me a 5-minute heads up when they're going to come out. And then, I'll make it cheerful, and we'll just go right into the cake cutting. And then, like Scott had said, make that transition, not an ending. It's the dancing is an ending. We're just transitioning to the cake cutting and then back into some dancing after, or the bouquet toss or whatever. But yeah, I found that what Jay had mentioned is really big, at least here on the East Coast, where they're not tossing it, they're giving it to someone. And I like that. I like that idea. Have you guys been doing the garter thing? We haven't done that in years here.
Just real quick on your front bustle story, how you should have just told her she was disqualified from the limbo contest later on in the night. So
take some of the steam off of that. Yes, we skipped the limbo.
Maybe want to opt out of that one just for the rest of the day. But bouquets mostly up here. No, the bride will do the toss, but they've basically eliminated the garter section of it altogether. Yeah,
because it could get creepy, if a young girl, putting a garter on it was like, oh boy. Yeah. I did had that was, oh my gosh, 5 years ago, I headed it off at the pass because it was an older guy that had the garter, and it was a young girl that caught the bouquet, and I just went, just nobody knew. I held, microphone down and just whispered from behind. I said, just walk up and give it to her.
Well, that was another one from the story tonight when before he goes up to get the garter, she came over and tapped him on the shoulder.
These people were like so conditioned that, somebody was going to be helpful, and they got a chair, and I could see the terror in this young girl's eyes. And I just said, just walk up. He walked up like a gentleman. He handed her the place erupted in applause, and quick, the chair went away. And that's how I, now, it's just kind of a thing of the past. So, but I find this interesting. Is there, let me ask you guys, is there such a thing as the perfect event?
Yes. Jake, you want to lead on this one?
Yeah, really? No, there is.
I'd love to hear that.
And I've had some of my better weddings this year. And with perfect weddings, it's funny because I'm hearing everything everyone's saying and I'm making mental notes. One real quick note is I have never in 25 years of doing weddings, I've never once had a guy or a girl put anything on some, like I've seen it. I've seen where like I catch the garter, you catch the bouquet, we have to sit, close your eyes, and then the girl puts the garter on the guy's leg or vice versa. I've just never once done that at a wedding I've done because I've always told the bride and groom, it's just, it's inappropriate. Now, if for the DJs that do that and have great success with it, and there's a DJ in San Diego who shaves his leg, puts on a stocking, they blindfold the guy, and he has to put the garter on the girl's leg. And as long as the bride and groom say he's got a good sense of humor, the DJ sits in the chair. So the guy thinks he's on a girl's leg. And when they take the blindfold off him, he's got his hands halfway up the thigh of a guy with a microphone. And when this was presented to me, I simply said, the area of the world that I'm from, you'd get smacked. Like you'd have a fight break out. So I'm very conscious. And I say this to every couple. I'm always a wedding guest at a wedding. And I'm a wedding guest at a wedding, and I view it as this should be the classiest affair I go to. What's classy and what's not. And I become the arbiter of judgment. And I become what's good and what's bad. You dress the way the host and hostess dress. You act the way they act. A wedding is never a place to get wasted drunk. That's a party. Right. This is a wedding. It's a party, but it's a wedding first and foremost. The perfect weddings I've had this year, at least, I never got to meet the bride and groom before the wedding. And when I did meet them at the wedding, those perfect ones, the groom and the bride, both gave me a hug the first time they met me because they were so excited to finally meet me because of our interaction on phone, Zoom, and email. Well, and I find
let me ask you, in regards to the shaved leg thing and all that, I know that you and I are both in the same camp that there should never be a surprise at a wedding. And that to me is a surprise. So that would be a hard no for me. Like, no, that's not happening at one of the events.
Right. And he gets the go ahead from the bride and groom. Now, I can understand a bride and groom saying, hey, that's my brother, that's my cousin. He's going to find this hysterical. And I genuinely understand that there are people that would walk away going, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Now, this guy's been doing it for over 20 years. Successfully. He doesn't do it at every single event, but he does do it. Out here, the garter has fallen away a lot. I find if they're under 27, 26, I'm probably doing garter bouquet. If they're over 30, I might do the bouquet, not the garter. It's very infrequent. And my garter bouquet is single ladies on the floor, throw. Single gentlemen on the floor, throw. Dance. Maybe a photo. But dance. There's no get back in the chair, take a quiz, put it on your leg, touch a guy, touch a girl. Because again, I had to do it when I was in a wedding in 1986. I was best man, and I caught the garter. And the girl that I caught the garter, and the girl that caught the bouquet was maybe 14. And they made me put it on her leg, and I got like on her leg to her knee, and I stood up and I just went. And people started booing me. I was in Watertown, very Italian wedding, 250 people. I'm the one Mick in the room in a tuxedo. I'll find the photo somewhere. And literally people started booing me. And I was like, wow, man. And
it was prevalent. It was a big deal back then, but I think it's not a prevalent tradition.
We did a receiving line, and I had a bag where everyone walked up and pinched my cheek like it was Sopranos and dropped a letter, an envelope in the bag. I mean, this was Goodfellas. This was Casino. This was, the 80s. So in my head, when I became a DJ, I thought, what would I do? Let me treat this wedding the same way I would if my parents were here or if I was the groom. We had my own wedding. We did the money dance at my wedding, much to my dismay. But my best man's mother demanded that we do it. She's Filipino. She's Catholic. She kept praising how good the mass was. Oh, the priest, this and that. Jay, you have to. You don't understand. You can't argue with a Filipino mother who's hardcore Catholic and wants to make you happy. And I'm calling her Mrs. Romero. I'm not Mrs. Sevilla. I'm not calling her first name. And I got married 21 years ago. So when I went to my DJ comes over and he goes, I've got this. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. I said, I don't want to do a money dance. It's not classy. He goes, I got this. All right. I trust you. And I do it at every wedding I've ever performed. I do it the same way he did it at my wedding. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a more beautiful bride or more handsome groom? You know what? A lot of you have not had a chance to have a one-on-one conversation. So I'm going to have the best man and maid of honor come out on the dance floor. I'm going to ask the gentleman to line up behind the maid of honor. Ladies, line up behind the best man. We're going to have you come out and spend 30, 45 seconds, just some one-on-one time, just some slow music in the background. Just tell them what you wanted to tell them all night. Get that one-on-one time. Comma. And for those of you who inquired earlier in the evening as to when it would be the appropriate time to donate to their honeymoon, this would be that time.
Okay.
People left my wedding saying to me, wow, what a classy event. Bar, everyone looked great, suits, it was gorgeous. You didn't do that stupid money dance. I'm like, you came out and danced with my wife, and your wife danced with me and gave me money. Like, oh, I get it. You didn't see it as a money dance.
Right.
Oh. And literally 100% of my clients like the idea, and probably 70% do it with me saying the money for the honeymoon. And the 30% just say, you don't have to say that part.
Okay, John.
So it just becomes a one-on-one dance.
Money's the taboo. If you'd like to make a contribution to the honeymoon.
Yeah, we're going to make it. For those of you that want to donate towards their honeymoon. Right, I never say cash or money.
No.
So now's the time where I put the train back on the track. And,
no, but the point, the perfect event thing.
No, he said, no, we're not going on the track.
No, I'm just saying, I came the long way around to the perfect event, because I think part of it is you need to talk your clients through the event. I know a lot of DJs are like, man, it's going to be a party. We're going to jam. We're going to dance. Look at this new tie I bought. No, you need to meticulously plan this out. This is a very time-sensitive, organized event that if it goes, and I tell clients, you only have this much of a window to have a party you've dreamt of for this long. You can't screw around. And I'm there to watch over you. I don't drink at your wedding. I don't eat at your wedding. I'm physically just making sure that everything I can do on a microphone or with music makes the day great, because it will go by too quickly.
Right. And
so I give them that expectation.
And be quick on your feet.
Right. I want them to feel this is the night I wanted, and this is how I'm going to achieve it, because I'm going to let other people do the work and worry for me. But I'm also going to be aware of it. So at the end of the night, when they leave, they're not leaving saying, oh my gosh, what a surprise. They're leaving going, you were right. We're so glad we didn't do this, or we're so glad we did do that. Thank you so much for watching our back. Thank you so much for caring for us.
Bill mentioned that tonight about talking with the clients, and I mean, he had a couple that wanted to zip line into the room, and he was like had to explain why this might not be a good idea, but he went the extra mile, knowing more than likely that it was not going to happen. But he checked with city officials. He checked with the venue. Oh, we have to do this rigging. Oh, no, that's not, you're not putting that in our, in our venue. And then of course the city, oh no, we're not going to give a permit for that. And I'm sure there were liability and insurance reasons. No, but he's right though. We're kind of like, coaches where, you got to be truthful, but in a kind way. We're
like a caddy. We know the course. Right. We know where the pitfalls are. Right. We know where you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
And the problem is the new generation of 30 under brides and grooms. They've been weaned on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and they want that wow moment, not to be the sunset where the sun comes through looking like a heart as they kiss. They want it to be something shocking that will get great response immediately. So you have to kind of go in with your eyes wide open that their expectations, they're not that they're high, it's that they're often unrealistic. So be prepared to talk people into a right direction and away from something that is going to ultimately ruin the day.
Sure.
Right.
Of course.
If you can buy my DVD, call 1-800.
Right. if we've studied the playbook and we know what they want from the day, front to back, in and out, we can allow some fun to happen too. It shouldn't just be so structured that it's entirely predictable. You don't leave anything dangerous to chance, but remember they're there to have a good time, and they have one shot to get this day right, and we just have to to guide them down the road the right way.
It's not always, and I hate to say it, even though people won't believe this is coming out of my mouth, it's not about us.
No, it's not at all.
Like we're there to support the vision and dream and make sure everything that's supposed to happen does within the realm of our capabilities. But like I mentioned earlier about doing a bar mitzvah, the reason I was doing a bar mitzvah Saturday night was because I did their other son's bar mitzvah 2 years ago. So it becomes, not only a chain reaction and or this went perfect, let's do it again, but it's understanding what's going on in that event and doing the best you can for that event. Because when you look at the, the schematics of a 13-year-old group of kids, you just do what they would need you to do. You don't get in your head about, well, I normally do weddings and I'm older. It's like, no, you're a DJ. Be the DJ. DJ has no age.
Yeah.
When they want,
I took tonight was
Drake,
like
you played Drake.
Tonight was like a validation that I think I'm on the right track here with the way I do things. Like, it was suggested that, make it as though it's their event, which that's my hallmark as the Dark Star. I won't be in any photos, even. Yeah, I'll bring the mic up for the toasters to go stand next to the sweetheart table, and then I get way out of the way, so I'm not in the pictures. But then even in the first dance, and this happens a lot, where my husband doesn't want to dance. Okay, here's what I'm going to do for you. How about this? Verse and chorus, and then I'll invite them to join you. But I always use their names. I'll say, Jack and Joe would love it if you would join them in their first dance. Right. It's not, hey, come on, get out there. It's not for me,
And you always wear black. It's easy for you to hide in photos. Jay has to do that whole John Wick Matrix.
Yeah. I got the dog barking next to me, all that. But I think that's the planning phase of these are the traditional activities.
Yes.
And understand this is your day. So when a couple says to me, we don't want to dance very long, I say, let's look at 1.5 to 2 minutes. And I say, when they say, well, how about a minute? I say, that's not enough for the photos and the photos you have for a lifetime. And they always go, thank you for telling us that. Because I know DJs that have gone like, man, can you believe it? First dance, father, father, mother, son in under 3 minutes. And I'm like, you robbed your clients of photo opportunities that they'll never get back. And when they say, oh, well, this one's got to be shorter. And I'm like, how about we pick a better song? Like In My Life by the Beatles. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds. You know why it's great? Because it's slow. It's usually age appropriate to a mother or a father, especially a mother-son. Or, Louis Armstrong, Wonderful World. You get the response from the room going, oh my God, what a beautiful song.
Yeah, who doesn't
I can't believe
love
they
that,
picked this. Yeah. Real quick, I've had the father, daughter, mother, son where they want to almost do one song. Guess what? Is Somewhere Over the Rainbow into Wonderful World. You go Somewhere Over the Rainbow for the bride and her dad, and at 2 minutes and 11 seconds, the groom and his mother walk out and they walk off. Now it's a new song, but it's still the same song, and it goes another 2:11
because it blends so well.
It blends over, and now he's doing Wonderful World, and and brides and grooms love that idea because it doesn't break it up. It doesn't make it uncomfortable.
All right. Any final thoughts here before we put a fork in it?
Last thing was just from Jason, Jay, and I in the middle. If you're not getting the gigs, get yourself in front of the right people. Think about where you want to play. Who do you have to get in front of to make it happen, and go get it done. That was also
remember, like Jason has always said to me when I've met him socially, Jay, I'm not ashamed. $20 is $20. Whatever it takes.
That's from him.
That's where I got it.
All right.
Came from somewhere.
Thank you all for tuning in. And hey, we'll be back next week. If you have any ideas or questions, feel free to contact us. Put them in the comment section. This will be back next week, whatever. And we will see you next week. So thank you for tuning in. Good night, all.